So happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm so glad you're all here. I really do appreciate you showing up for yourself. So that's always a good thing. Um, does anybody have any questions about anything about the program, about the weather? Kidding. Um, any cleanse questions, supplement questions?
Uh,
And go ahead.
my name is Juana. I have a question. This is my first week. Should you? So I'm a day. I started on Monday, so on Monday 3. The first 2 days they kicked my butt with migraines. Is that normal?
Yes. Yes. Are you coming off of coffee?
No.
Okay. It's usually the coffee that causes that, but headache, fatigue, brain fog, even muscle ache, like you feel like you're getting a flu, could all be a normal thing called healing crisis. You guys can find more information on that on page 14 in the book. But yeah, there's lots of different symptoms. It may last 3, maybe even 4 days. So I just apologize for that. It just is what it is. But you most likely will feel a whole lot better at the end of the first, 2, 3, 4 days. So I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you for asking. I'm
I, I
sorry that
tried.
you're not
I
feeling
tried to not take my mic because I suffer from migraines. I try not to take my migraine medication, but I just couldn't. So can I on this process? Can I still take my migraine medication if I get my headaches that bad?
Yes, another option too would be to try some magnesium. But
Okay.
yeah, if you have a migraine, I got them. When I first did the program, I thought could rock star my way out of my coffee habit. So
Sí,
I just
claro.
decided to quit cold turkey. And my head hurt so bad. Like it was migraine. And there was nothing I could take or do once it got to be a certain level. So for anybody just getting started, if it's coffee you're on, please wean yourself slowly because it's just not worth it. It's so painful and it's debilitating. I could hardly function. So if you need to take, an Advil or your migraine medication, by all means, I don't want you to be so miserable or where it takes you out, you can't even work or function. So thank you for asking. Great question. Anybody else? All right, well, I will go ahead and share the screen. Think of any questions, write them down. If you're shy, you can write them in the chat, or ask them after. At the end, I will give you my email address if you want to just email me a question. That would be perfectly fine too. Okay, so today's topic is think yourself skinny. So we're going to be talking about mindset, about subconscious mind, the law of attraction, and really how mindset plays such a huge, huge part in your success or lack thereof. So if you ever struggle with, signing up for anything or setting out to do anything, and then you kind of find yourself wanting to quit or talking yourself out of it, today's talk is definitely for you. So I will go ahead and jump right in. So today I got some funny memes again, and some shout outs. We'll talk about what the law of attraction is and how that relates to weight loss and health and wellness. I'll talk about the art of manifestation and how to manifest, how to train your brain, and putting it all to work. I'll give you a system and a formula how to put it all to work. So, all right. So here's our funnies. Um, I just thought they were kind of cute. So let's shout out. I just want to say special effort to, there's so many of you, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some people, so many of you who I just want to shout out just for effort. We've got Pam and Melinda, Karen, Barbara, Gail, Kathleen, Michelle, Bryn, Beth, Michael, Stan, um, who else am I forgetting? I'm forgetting so many of you guys. So many of you guys, Mary, you're suiting up, you're showing up, you're doing the deal. You're a current member. I'm getting your stuff every week. Okay. I'm getting your stuff every week. You're sending me your stuff. You're doing your deal. Not everybody's perfect, but just doing the best that you can. Also, Michael, he's down 20 pounds. Again, that's a little above the average because he just started this year, the beginning of the month. But he's doing the deal. He's doing what we've asked him to do. Again, men tend to lose a little bit more weight than the women, or quicker, I should say. And so just don't be mad at that if you're not losing that much. It's just your journey is your journey. The only person you're competing with is yourself last week. And that's it. So, and that's the truth. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right in. So what is the law of attraction? So basically, the philosophy behind the law of attraction is that energy precedes manifestation. As such, positive thoughts may bring positive results into a person's life, while negative thoughts bring the negative or the opposite stuff, the opposite bad stuff. So think about, like, you wake up and you open up your window and the sun is shining and your favorite song is on the radio and it's a Saturday morning and you have great plans for the day and everything just seems to go so well. Wherever you go, you find a close parking space. Everything just sort of lines up. Everything's just going your way. And then there's other days, you get up to that alarm, you're already kind of annoyed, and you get up and you stub your toe. And what happens? It kind of sets the tone. You're pissed off, you're mad, things aren't going so well. You get in your car to go to work, you hit every red light, and everything that can go wrong sort of does go wrong. And it's really about the energy and the vibrations and the feelings and the attitudes that we carry throughout the day. So that's what I want to talk about today and how that can relate to your success and to your weight loss. Has anybody heard of the law of attraction?
Yeah.
Yeah. Has anybody seen The Secret?
Many years ago.
Yeah, it's a book which turned into a movie. They're missing a few pieces, but that's kind of the premise of what this is. So let's get into it right now. So this whole talk today, I am taking my information based on the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And this was written back in the 1930s, and it's been updated or what do they call it? Revised since then many times. But I think the first one was in 1937 was the first year that I see here. But anyway, it's a long time ago. But this, you guys are like, I'm not trying to get rich over here. I'm trying to get healthy. I'm trying to get off my heart disease medication. I'm trying to get off my metformin. What the heck are you talking about? Think and Grow Rich. I'm telling you that the processes in this book are the same processes you can use to achieve anything you want to achieve. And I'm talking about pretty much anything you want to achieve. If you believe that you can learn anything, I'm telling you, you can do anything. So let's just dive right in. Oh, I forgot I made it bounce. All right, so the first one, and there's so many chapters in this book, I'm not going over all the chapters, but the first one is burning desire. And you've got to have a burning desire. You've got to figure out your why. Like, what is your why? Why did you sign up for the program? And a little exercise I would suggest that you do is ask yourself, why did I sign up for the program? Well, I want to lose weight. Okay, great. Why do I want to lose weight? Well, because I'll feel better. Well, why do I want to feel better? Well, I'll have more energy. Well, why do I care about having more energy? And keep digging deeper. Well, if I have more energy, I'll be able to play with my grandkids. I'll be able to play games with them. I'll be able to go to the park with them. I'll be able to hike with them or hike with my friends, or I'll be able to go to the zip lining thing in Costa Rica with my family when we all go. Like, what is your really burning desire? And so I'm going to read you something from the book, How to Create a Burning Desire. And it's called Burning the Boats. This is just a story. He talked about burning the boats. Okay, it says a long time ago, a great warrior faced the situation which made it necessary for him to make the decision which ensured him success on the battlefield. He was about to send his armies against a powerful foe. This is written in the 1930s, so that their language is very weird. But anyway, a powerful foe whose men outnumbered his own. He loaded his soldiers into the boats. He sailed them to the enemy's country, unloaded the soldiers and the equipment, and gave them the order to burn the ships that had carried them over. Addressing to his men before the first battle, he said, "You see those boats going up in smoke? That means we cannot leave these shores alive unless we win. Now you have no choice but to win. If we win, if we don't win, we perish." So basically, you don't win, you die. And they won. This group of people won. And so you've got to have a go big or go home or go all in attitude. And as you know, I've been sharing with you guys my journey. I'm also on a different journey. Mine is to create a retirement so I can enjoy my grandchildren and have the time and the money to go do it. But my boat burning was my vitamin store. And a lot of you know my story. I owned a vitamin store and I learned a lot from it. I owned it for 3 years, but it was my retirement, and I pretty much lost the whole darn thing. So that boat has been burned. So every time in the course that I am taking and I want to quit and I want to tell myself, all that negative chatter, which we all as humans have, this is too hard. It's not in your wheelhouse. You're too old. This is not something you've ever, this is so unfamiliar to you. You're crazy to think that you could learn all this stuff. I'm trying to learn how to invest my money and other people's money. But my burning desire is so strong. It is now because if I don't, I perish. I will have to work and be a Walmart greeter. If I don't do something different and don't learn how to create a different source of income. So if we have that burning desire, this is what's going to keep us going, because every one of us as human beings are going to have hard days. There's going to be obstacles. There's going to be days you don't feel like it. There's going to be days when you don't want to meal prep or cook or go to the workout. There's going to be days when you want to drive through or give in to the parties, desserts, and all the things. But if you have a really strong burning desire, it will help keep you in the game. Creating your vision and really having a clear vision of what it is that you want, and even what it is happens if you don't get it. I've often in the past told my clients, write out your vision, create what you want to create, but write out what happens if you don't do it. So I know for my personal goal that I'm working on for my personal self, if I don't follow through and take my course and take the classes and watch the videos and do the work, information is not power. It's implementation of the information that's power. But my burning desire is keeping me going and gets me up in the morning. So burning desire is the first step in manifestation. All right. Then the next number 2 is decide what it is that you want to do. Make that decision. Making a decision is opposite of procrastination. That studies show, and it's even written in the book, people that fail, the number one thing they had in common is they procrastinated. They could not make a decision. The most successful people in this book, and it's not all about making money, it's maybe about getting that health, but making a decision quickly. You may need some information to base your decision on. You may need to do some research. Okay, do the research, get the information you need. Just like I need to make a decision whether I want to invest in a property or not, I need to know how to work the numbers. If I don't know how to work the numbers, I need to get the help, but I need to make the decision based on information. So I need to do my homework so I can make that decision, but I need to make it quickly, because if I don't, somebody else will. So making a decision and not procrastinating is going to save you. Yeah. So procrastination is typically based on fear. You know, our present, here we are in a present state, and we have a desire to lose the weight or get healthy. But what we tend to do as humans is we tend to look back. We tend to look at our past, and we tend to look at our past failures, which puts us in a state of fear, which puts us in a state of analysis paralysis. We can't seem to move forward. We can't make that decision. So it's really, we've got to look forward to our future, and we got to harness that burning desire. This next one, auto-suggestion, and that is, well, basically the definition is repetition of verbal statements to oneself in order to change behavior. So that is what we repeatedly tell ourselves. And so what does that look like? It's affirmations, it's visualizations, it's vision boards. What are we constantly saying to ourselves? What information are we constantly putting into our head? By you guys showing up to these calls, or if you're listening to this as a replay, by you constantly listening to these, you're suggesting to yourself, this is how you train your subconscious mind, by the way. This is how you train your subconscious mind. It's putting a new program in. If you have that burning desire, I want to get off my medication, I want to have more energy, I want to lose this weight, and you have your reasons and your burning desire, you've made the decision. Maybe you've signed up for this program, or you put the line in the sand, like, no, I'm not going to live like this anymore. If you settle for mediocrity, that's what life shows you. So if you decide that you want better for yourself, the next thing we do is that auto-suggestion. That constant repeating of yourself. So seeing yourself, visualizing yourself doing the thing that you wanted to achieve. And also there's, you have this goal in mind, you have this burning desire, that goal, but in this auto-suggestion portion, you've got to visualize yourself giving the thing that you need to give, or doing the thing that you need to do that will help you achieve it. So in the case of making money, what am I going to sell? What products am I sell? What service am I going to provide? What am I going to do? Start to see I start to see myself doing the homework, doing the research, looking at the numbers, looking at the rent rolls, looking at the different information. So for you might see yourself meal prepping and enjoying it, listening to your favorite music or your favorite podcast while you're meal prepping. It doesn't have to be all bad. It has to be pleasurable, of course, but see yourself, doing some things that you enjoy doing. Maybe it is taking up dancing or joining a hiking group or something that's active that you do enjoy, but repeat. And this works both ways, just like the law of attraction. If you're constantly telling yourself, this is hard, I'm too old, I can't do this, my family tradition is we're all overweight, and all of my ancestors were overweight. It may not be your genetics, it may be your traditions, by the way. But if you're constantly telling yourself the negative stuff, guess what's going to keep showing up? The more evidence that these negative thoughts are real. So every time you imagine yourself having the thing that you want and the positive result, your subconscious mind does not know the difference between real and imagined. So once the subconscious mind sees it enough, it thinks it's real. So it literally will go out and find more ways to make that true. It sets up your reticular activating system, which I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. All right, next up is organized planning. No successful person was able to achieve anything without some sort of plan, without some sort of organized system on how to do things. Now, if you've already signed up for the program and you're doing the deal, you have that organized plan. You're going to write out your journal pages and send them to me each week, along with your check-in sheet. You're going to show up to these group calls. You're going to plan out your meals. You're going to learn your calories. You're going to maybe study or look up new recipes each week, or maybe you set the intention to try a new recipe from our book, to keep yourself motivated and enjoying the process. But organized planning is super, super important. You've got to have a system. If you don't have some sort of plan, you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? You know what they say. And here at the bottom, Mike Dicta said, success isn't permanent, but failure isn't fatal. So sometimes the plan doesn't work. Okay, so let's try a new plan. Let's try something else. So maybe I decided to go out and do Pilates, and I really didn't care for it. So I know I want to lose weight. Well, let me try a yoga class. Let me try a Zumba class. Let me try a boxing class. There's this boxing place opening up around the corner called Jabs, or there's another one called Roundup or 9 Round or something like that. Try different ones. If one doesn't work for you, you just don't care for it, try a different one, but keep going. And if you need help, that's what I'm here to help you. Let's plan together. Let's organize some sort of plan together. It's very, very important that you have some sort of plan in place. Next up is specialized knowledge. I mean, you guys are showing up to these groups well, not all of you, but showing up to these groups every week. You will obtain the specialized knowledge. If health and wellness is what you want to achieve, you've got to start to study it. You've got to start to learn it. And the more you start to learn it, it's part of that auto-suggestion. I'll tell you guys, this is how I lost my weight. I promise, this is how I lost my, when I used to own a gym, and right at the end, when I was about to close it, there was a class called How to Write and Publish Your Book in 30 Days. So I didn't know what I was going to do after I closed my doors. I knew the doors were closing at the end of September in 2008. And I didn't know what I was going to do next. I really had no idea. So I took the class and I started to write my first book. But because I was learning the specialized knowledge every single day, and by the way, repetition for all of these things is the mother of mastery. Repeat, repeat, repeat is the key to success for every single one of these things. So in my learning to write the information, I wanted it to be right and I wanted it to be accurate. So I looked up and I researched and I researched and I researched every day, having got the weight loss myself, and I knew the basic premise of how I did it. I wanted to really get the idea of on paper, but I looked up the information. But by doing that, it was basically an auto suggestion for my brain, and it made it easier and easier and easier to eat the right foods and harder and harder and harder to eat the foods that were going to send my body into a fat storage mode. So learning your way to health, and when you know the benefits of, say, a red bell pepper or purple cabbage or broccoli sprouts, if you know how it benefits you, that's going to feel good. It's going to make you desire it more. So getting that specialized knowledge in will help you. The next one is faith. I would say this is the hardest piece, but this is the hardest piece you don't have to actively do. Having faith or believing in the process or believing in yourself. If you are actively practicing your auto suggestion and you are working your organized planning and you are continuing to learn, and this auto suggestion, you're seeing it in your mind, you're visualizing yourself doing the things, this is how you just will naturally begin to believe that you already have achieved this goal that you're after, that you will have the faith that you need. You absolutely need faith to achieve that goal. And you don't have to do anything other than these things. You have to have the desire, you have to decide to do it, you have to do the auto suggestion, work out your plan, and continue to learn. You will automatically get faith. And the power of mastermind, that's what this group is for. I love it when you guys come in and you share your wins. you share your struggles, or you ask a question, because everybody else in here has a win similar, and they're rooting for you. Everyone in here struggles something similar, and we want to know that we're not alone. And everyone in here has questions, and you probably all have the same question. So if one person has the courage to ask it, then we all are going to learn from it. And according to the book, he's more so talking about the mastermind. Okay, so he's talking about interviewing Henry Ford, and like Henry Ford, like the Ford products. You get somebody who knows about accounting. So he was building cars, but he maybe doesn't know accounting. And then you get somebody else who knows marketing. And then you get somebody else who knows about human resources or whatever, the different pieces of the puzzle to run an entire business. He doesn't have to know all of the pieces, but by you guys showing up to group calls like this, that is your mastermind. You can ask questions, you can get the support that you need. We get the kudos. We find out we're not alone in all of this. And it's a really great way to get the support. And just even connecting with me, just asking me a question, by email or text as your coach, that's part of what this is. Staying connected to the people that have done it before, to your mentor, to your coach, to your teacher. I'm going to help you do it the easier way. I already made 100 mistakes. So it took me 7 years to lose the 35 pounds that I lost. But I lost it in a very short period of time once I got it in my head. It was all mindset stuff. It wasn't the diet. There's a lot of great diets out there. It's the fitness equipment between your ears that's your best piece of equipment. And then the last piece is persistence. Look at you have a toddler, you have a child. How many times are you going to let them fall before you say, okay, Sonny, you've fallen 10 times already. It's time to get back in that stroller and just give it up. Don't bother trying to walk again. Look at Thomas Edison. Wasn't it 1,000 times that he didn't do it right, but he learned what didn't work 1,999 times. So a lot of you fell out during holidays. So I'm getting that now. It's that time of year. It's kind of mid to end January. And so everybody I'm talking to is like, yeah, I fell out, but I'm ready to get back on track. Okay, great. Get back on track. We all sign up for a program. We all get excited. And then we get to places where it gets a little bit hard. We want to quit. Then it gets really hard. And then we talk ourselves out of it and we do quit. And then that's kind of the cycle of success. But those of us who don't get it out of here and we fall out at the bottom, they call it the valley of death. And we don't keep going, then we sign up for another program where we start all over. It gets a little hard, we quit, we start all over, it gets a little hard, we quit. But if we just keep going, have faith in the process. When we plant a seed, we don't keep digging it up to see if it's going to sprout. We take care of it. We water it. We have a plan. Okay, we're going to water it 3 times a week. We're going to fertilize it once a month. We learn about how to grow that particular plant. We have faith that it's going to grow. We've given it all the things, the sunshine, the nutrition, the water, all the things that it needs. And just stay persistent and take care of that plant and it grows. Same thing with all of this, just hang in there. I know things get hard and we all come from a different place. Some people, it's hard to lose weight for the first few weeks. It's very difficult. And then all of a sudden the weight starts coming off. The body starts to wake up and go, oh, I'm not toxic anymore. I'm able to level off with my hormones and my good normal flora and all the other things that have been stopping me. So just have faith, stay persistent, and keep on going. All right, so the RAS, what is the RAS? It's the reticular activating system. So when we are doing the auto suggestion portion, what you're doing is training your brain's filter. The brain's filter is called the reticular activating system. So when you see yourself having, doing, or being the result, the goal that you've set out to be, like I see myself getting my first deal. and closing escrow on it, and it's the first closed deal. And then I get my acquisition fee. And so I'm visualizing, seeing myself filling out all the forms and doing the crunching the numbers and all the things. So now anything real estate, I'm trying to read. My brain, my eyeballs automatically catch it, automatically catch it. And so if you start doing that specialized knowledge, your brain will start to automatically see it. A good example is when I was looking to buy this house. My favorite thing to do on the weekends was go to open houses. And because I was so just focused minded on getting this house, I saw those signs from miles away. They would stand out like a flashing red light. But that was something that my reticular activating system had been trained to determine is important. So like I said, what you feed your mind is as important as what you feed your body. So if you're learning and you're showing up to these calls and you're training your reticular activating system, and you notice at the shopping center where you buy your groceries, there's a new yoga studio opening up. Or when you're at the grocery store, all of a sudden, the foods with labels that state gluten-free or low glycemic or healthy or whatever the buzzwords that we talked about last week, you start to see those things, your brain will notice them, whereas not in a million years would your brain have noticed that. And my best example, and those of you who've been with me for a while, heard this example, but I drive a Toyota Camry. So when I'm on the street, that's all I notice. Toyota Camrys, they are everywhere. They're in front of me, they're behind me. I park next to one. You know, there's one at the red light over there. I just notice them everywhere I go, everywhere I look. Do I see a Ford Focus anywhere? Never, never, ever, because my reticular activating system never cared about a Ford Focus. I've never wanted one or cared about having one. Not that they're bad, and not that there's none on the street. It's just that my brain is not looking for that. If I didn't have the reticular activating system to filter out some of the information, there's millions of pieces of information, like all the leaves on every single tree outside, every little lizard I see outside, every little detail, every car that goes by. If I remembered or I saw or registered in my brain, my head would explode. So we have to have that reticular activating system. It's important that we train it to show us the stuff that we want. And this is what happens when we do the auto suggestion. It trains the RAS to start to see these things, which builds the faith and builds the belief system. Whew. All right, so putting it all together and putting it all to work, I just put together this formula, and then I'll share with you how I used it. So the first piece is to create it. So what is it that you want to create? This is how we get a burning desire, right? So what is it that you want to create? Ask yourself the questions and keep asking until you can't answer anymore. So create it. And then what I would recommend you do is write out a vision and write it out as if it's already happened. So if you say in, 6 weeks from now, or, next June, I'm going to be weighing 30 pounds less, or I'm going to weigh whatever, fill in the blank. The brain is not going to register that. The subconscious mind only knows current. So you say, I am so happy and grateful now that I weigh 150 pounds, 120 pounds, whatever your number is. And I feel so full of energy, and I'm able to wear my favorite jeans, and I can go zip lining, and I can go hiking with my kids, and I can join the bowling league now because my knees don't hurt as much, whatever the story is. And if you really want to be an overachiever, do the other vision. Write out what happens if you do nothing. Are you gaining more weight? Do all your joints hurt even more? Are they upping your medication? Is your energy going down? Are you feeling just uncomfortable in your skin? What's going on? What happens if you do nothing? Just like my burn the boat story, what boat are you going to burn? What does that look like if you do nothing? It's go big or go home, ride or die, as they say. So create it. What is it? Decide. Don't decide I'm going to get rich and I'm going to lose 100 pounds and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Pick one thing and go for it hard. and then pick the next one. And then, really important, see it, visualize it. You can create a vision board with actual pictures, print out some pictures on your vision. So if I say zip lining because that's my next thing I want to do is I want to zip line in Costa Rica. But if I do what I'm doing, I'll be able to afford to do it. But so I would have on my vision board me ziplining or a picture of somebody that looks like me or something, and do that. Put a picture of your face instead of the person on the magazine's face. So it's really you that you see doing the thing. So it really gets that subconscious mind. Vision board, or just close your eyes and visualize it and really see yourself. But again, also see yourself doing the things it takes to get to that end results. Studies show that the students, there was two groups, students that saw themselves studying and, burning the midnight oil, even their visualization, they could smell the coffee because they're staying up all night. They saw themselves not going to the parties, but staying home or joining the masterminds or joining the study groups, versus the kids who just visualize getting the A in the test. The ones who study or who visualize themselves doing the things it takes to get that A really did better overall. So there's so many studies. I don't have time to go into them today that show visualization is as good as actually doing the thing as far as training the subconscious mind. And was equally as important, and that's why I put this magnet up here with the nails. When you see it, is basically sending out your wish to the universe, sending out your law of attraction. I want to achieve this. That's your create it, and then you see it in your mind's eye. But when you feel it, that's what attracts it. That's that law of attraction thing I was talking about. If you feel like you've already achieved it, there's no more lack within your heart and your soul. So there's no more, I wish I could lose weight. God, it would be great. Someday I will feel good when I lose weight. No, if you imagine yourself what it feels like to have achieved it right now, and in the way it feels to look in the mirror and be proud of yourself, the way it feels to put on short sleeves, to go to a boating trip or the beach or something where you're not trying to cover everything up. When you feel that, you're having the vibration of already achieved it, and that's how and when you attract it, which makes it challenging because some of us have never achieved it. So it's hard for me to imagine $1 million in my bank when I've never had that. But I practice seeing myself doing the things. And I also practice what it feels like to see that number in the bank. And I practice seeing me getting that acquisition check, that acquisition fee that I received from my investors. So feeling it is just a key component. And because I see it and feel it, I now believe it without question. It is, and so it is, as they say, and so it is. This is all kind of a form of prayer, but you've got to visualize it and you've got to believe it. And then obviously you take the actions. So, okay, so my reticular activating system saw that yoga studio opening up. Go walk in there and see what their offer is. Go see if you can try a free trial. You see that healthy product on the shelf at the grocery store, pick it up, look at your ingredients, look at it, see if it's something that sounds good, buy it, make it, eat it, try it, take the action, show up to these classes, write out your journals, show your subconscious mind who's boss. Your conscious mind decides to write your journal, but once you do that over and over again, it gets into that subconscious mind. Just like learning to drive, your conscious mind learns to drive, but when you do it over and over and over again, your subconscious mind takes over to the point where you could drive all the way home from work and not remember a darn bit of it because your subconscious mind learned it. And now it can do it all on its own. And you can have a conversation with somebody on the phone while you drove all the way home. So this is how we practice. But this is the success formula. And how much time do I have? Oh, good. Plenty of time. So I just wanted to share with you, some of you have heard my story. I'm going to tell you the get the house story. I think I'll tell you that one. So I I moved here from California to Arizona, and I bought a condo, and it was 3 flights up, which I thought was a great idea. Oh, it's going to keep my legs in shape. That was really my mindset. Everybody else thought I was nuts, but it made sense to me. Little did I think it all the way through that in July or August, when I'm carrying, 3 gallons of water up 3 flights of stairs, also having had to walk across the parking lot to get to those 3 flights of stairs in 118-degree weather, I don't care how good it is for my legs, that sucks. So I decided I wanted to buy a house. I made the decision I want to buy a house. And so I went on a mission. I started to go onto Zillow and Realtor.com and all of those. And I was just looking it up, seeing it in my mind's eye, visualizing what I wanted. I wanted a house. I wanted to entertain. I'm a dancer. I envisioned having my dance friends over and we all dance. And I just had these visualizations, and I could feel the excitement of having my friends over. I could feel the excitement of pulling into my own garage. And so I repeated and repeated and repeat, see it, feel it, see it, feel it, see it, feel it. And I just ultimately believed that I am going to get a house. So of course I enrolled a real estate agent. And so she helped me start looking, but of course I have to get pre-qualified. And because of my vitamin store and my tax returns, it shows I didn't make any money or enough money to qualify for a house. I didn't qualify for a house. And I didn't matter because I was already at the place of believing that I was going to get the house. And this, by the way, I don't think I mentioned this. If you set out for a goal and you don't know how to achieve the thing, you don't have to know all the details. If you set your mind to achieve something, it will start to show itself up. So you'll start to, stuff like Dr. Infantino's program will show up for you. That's your reticular activator. If you decide, that's how you guys all found it. You didn't mean to find it. It was on the TV or it was in an ad or you looked it up on Yelp, however you found him. Your subconscious mind found it because you had made a decision at some point you wanted to improve your life. So anyway, the first lender laughed at me. Second lender said, you're crazy, you'll never qualify. And I'm going through all the scenarios in my head. Maybe I'll get my mom to co-sign. Maybe my sister can, what can I do? What can I do? That's another one. Ask the right questions. Not, oh, how come this is so hard? Anyway, this job for working with Dr. Infantino just showed up. And I did have one of the lenders said, well, if you worked full-time salaried position, that's the only way you'd qualify. And it just fell into my lap. I don't know exactly how I found the job, but I did. And because I did, I then qualified. And now I'm sitting in my house that I've now had for 2 years. I didn't know I was doing the success formula, but I truly believe that because I made the decision and I decided I wanted a house, I could see and feel myself having it and achieving that goal. I did believe it. There was nothing going to stop me. I got to a place, I think they call it a healthy obsession. And then I just took the actions. I took a job. I was self-employed. I had my own weight loss program. And I just took the job working for Dr. Infantino. I still do believe in his program. It's a good program. So there's my little story with the success formula and how it's worked for me. If you practice this, I promise you will take steps forward and you will continue to see success. All right, so what you think about, you become, what you feel, you attract, and what you imagine, you create. That was said by Buddhas. Here's some just famous quotes. To bring anything into your life, imagine that it's already there. It's already happened. It's present tense. It's got to be present tense. And Dr. Wayne Dyer says, change the way you look at things, and the things that you look at change. Changing your perspective, changing like the I can attitude, practicing your success formula. You get to the place where you start to believe that you can actually achieve this. All right, so let's see. All right, so the summary: what you think about, you bring about. What you think about yourself, what you desire, and what you are capable of will show up as your reality. So if you don't think you can do it, your life is going to show you more of ways you can't do it. So you really have to, and we all have the self-doubt. We all have that self-negative talk. So if you have it, don't think, oh, well, I already have the negative. That's just auto-suggestion. We've got to switch out the language in that auto-suggestion. That's all that is. What you repeatedly tell yourself, you believe is truth. What you believe is truth will create your reality. All right. So that is it for me today. Does anybody have any questions, or does this make sense for you guys? Hopefully it was helpful.
Very helpful.
Wonderful. So if you guys are too shy to ask questions out loud, I know some people have told me they just don't want to do that. That's okay. Here's my email down here, coach.platinumwellness@gmail.com. You can ask there. If you know my number, you can shoot me a text. But anyway, how about any other questions about other things off topic, off the law of attraction or success formula? So before I go, I would highly recommend you get the book. If you're not a big reader, you can go to YouTube and listen to this. Pretty much every single chapter is on there. So you can listen to one chapter at a time and just listen to them talk about it. The whole book is even on YouTube. But if you just want to just kind of tackle one chapter at a time, go through the ones I talked about. There's plenty more other than the ones. There's specialized knowledge, imagination, organized planning, decision, persistence, power of mastermind, faith, thoughts or things. So there's a lot of different things, but really continue to put this stuff in your head. You're training your subconscious mind. And then knowledge is not power. Implementation of that knowledge is power. So that is it.
Tami, can you say the name of the title of that book again?
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Thank you. Got it.
It's just, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is there a place, this is off topic, but is there a place where you can, where I can purchase more of the shake mix?
Yeah, you can call the office and Lisa can run your, if you have a card on file, or just let her know what flavors you want. And
Okay.
you can call the office. You would think I'd have this number memorized by now. I used to have all, back in the day, we memorized every number we ever knew. I could tell you my childhood phone number, but now I don't remember my kids' numbers. It's just, my brain doesn't work like that anymore. But the number, if you want more products, shakes, stuff like that, 602-866-8100.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Great question. Because a lot of people ask, a lot of you guys have finished the program, but want to continue with the shakes because they really are better than most of the stuff you find on the market. So I get it. I keep buying them too. So
They also have an online store that you can buy it on too. I'm not sure what the web address is for that.
yeah, so ask Lisa about that, because that makes her life easier. Otherwise, she has to box it and she has to ship it. So if that's, I know that was true, or that we're making a lot of changes. We're trying to really make life easier for everybody, so including you guys. So ask Lisa if there's a place to go online. That way you can, when you think about it at 3 a.m, you can do it then versus trying to catch someone in the office, during office hours. Good point. Thank you.
Tami,
Yes.
hi.
You missed your shout out.
Oh, you gave me a shout out today.
Oh, I was running around and I realized it was 6 minutes after 12 and I don't even have pants on. That's how fast I needed to run to catch on the computer.
Sometimes I don't either. You guys will never know.
Exactly. Oh, sorry I missed that. I'll go back in the recording actually. Two things that ironically come together beautifully today is the RAS, and especially the part on, creating a vision as to what would happen if you didn't succeed. And at one time, those were fears. Those were, I've got to get this done or else. But I just realized today, as you were explaining it, how important it is to put that into the positive reinforcement in such a way that you recognize that your lack or you're not moving forward or any of that will have those consequences, and now those consequences are real. They're not in the place of your mind where you go, yeah, I know, I'm just going to gain the weight back and I'm just going to fall off and I'm going to start it again. No, it doesn't have to be like that. You just explained that you prepare yourself for if it doesn't work out, and you have that plan B almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's amazing right now in my brain. It's exploding. I'm so excited to actually create those consequences now. And another area that so I started back, you and we had a talk last week. I'm after the holidays, I'm trying to just get it going. And you and I sat and we had that initial plan. And since we even talked, I find, I don't know if it's the weather here or, it's just, I couldn't. And I've been trying to force myself or get going. And I said, if I could only just have a little bit of just anything out there, and you had explained it so well. And I forget now what the thing that almost triggered you, but next thing you know I get an email from a friend, 30-day plank challenge. Come on, let's do it. And I'm like, let's do it. Let's go.
You attracted it. You attracted it.
There you go. That's it.
Like I attracted my job. Like
exactly.
That is cool.
I prayed for it and I wanted it. And I said, just a little bit of help, just a little bit of support, something. And within a very short period of time, I got that email and I'm like, that's
it's like the power of prayer. Send me help. And then phone ring,
Yeah,
guys,
we need help.
Power of prayer. But I talk a lot about Tony Robbins. He talks about there's, two kinds of personalities. Some will move forward for something for the reward. Some of us won't move, but we how does it go? We'll take more action to avoid the pain than we will take action to achieve the pleasure. So, okay, whichever thing is going to motivate, whichever thing's going to put fire into your pants, lots more money is really great, but working till I'm 98, that's pretty scary. So the prize is pretty good and the not doing is really bad. So for me to give up, I cannot. It's cannot. And trust and believe, you guys. Oh my God. It's hard.
But it's so key. The very beginning of what did you say exactly in the very beginning by having the positive, but even the negative should motivate you not to get there. That's what you said. And that's the negative.
Well, he says some people will take more action to avoid pain than they will take action to seek pleasure. Like seek pleasure is like a bonus. Oh, that'd be great if, but the pain, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Like sometimes it's a hell.
That's a key mindset.
But it comes down to that burning desire. Like, what is fire? What is that fiery desire that in that life, if I don't, that's enough for me to keep going.
It's excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much. Real good.
Anybody else?
100%. That would be the most plain of it that we could give.
All right. Well, thank you guys all for coming. I really appreciate you. Put it to work, guys. Information is not power. Implementation is. And I talked about it a little bit yesterday, but I woke up yesterday and I saw it's in a groggy state, right? When I'm first waking up, I saw myself doing the things and achieving the thing. And it really made me feel empowered. So it's very empowered to practicing your success formula. So hopefully you wrote down those steps. Hopefully you practiced. They say twice a day, morning and night. First wake up or right before bed, because your brain is the most susceptible to taking in that information. So with that, I will say goodbye and thank you all for coming.
Thanks, Tammy.